such a great album.
Wow.
Now, remember, we're only listening to 2 minutes because we only have 2-minute rounds, so we're missing quite a bit of the song.
Oh, bless you, Lord.
Oh, hallelujah.
Hey everybody, Roger here. I want to talk to you guys today about, I don't know how to say this, clearing my name, I guess. There have been a lot of people online, especially within the last couple of days, who kind of took it upon themselves to give their interpretation of me over at the Kilroy event. You know, here's the biggest flaw in everything you guys are doing, just to start off on. A lot of you guys assumed things without asking. Those who didn't assume anything about me, those who actually came up to me and asked, or I came up to them and talked, understood I was a genuine, sincere person, harsh when I needed to be harsh, neutral when I needed to be neutral, and praising when I can give praise. I think the only people that really understood this were very few speakers, maybe 1 or 2 people that I spoke to that were attendees, and Based Mama and Sestra. Out of everybody, those are the ones that understood where I was coming from after we talked. Everybody else making quips online about me didn't talk to me, didn't ask, didn't bother to ask, only assumed. Now you might think to yourself, okay, why are you bringing this up again? Because there were a couple of people who brought it up this weekend. I'll start off with the first one. There's a guy, I don't know what his name is, but his YouTube handle starts with Christian in it. In his video, and he's done a response to, maybe there's like about 7 or 8 comments in that video. He's responded to all of them except mine, and maybe one other person. But I mean, mine was notable. He responded to everybody else. I put a long comment on there regarding how he didn't confront me, because if he did, he wouldn't have that opinion. He basically brought me up specifically and said there was one person there, and it's about the 6-minute mark maybe in that video. And there's one person at this event who I do believe had negative intentions or something to that extent.
I know one individual attendee went with what I would call a very bad attitude and a very negative outlook. To my observation, he looked angry or irritated a lot of the time and generally just stayed away from others. I believe he had an agenda, and he's friends with people who rather dislike Kilroy. But, to be fair, I know he got to talk personally with Based Mama and the other organizers. I hope that he has a more balanced and fair viewpoint after those conversations, and at least has a slice of reality from both points of view.
I'm like, dude, again, you're pre-assuming. You didn't ask. You judged from afar. Do you understand how dumb that sounds? You know, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt because you're probably getting your information from a lot of people you think are credible. So I'll give you that. But but you didn't ask me. You assumed. Again, everybody's assuming. Now I understand how Based Mama feels. You know, everybody's assuming all the bad in her and everything. And then when I get to speaking to her, there's an air of sincerity. Even in some of the exposed information that I've seen, definitely brutal honesty. You know, the latest video regarding Sister Danger's DMs with Based Mama reveals that while Based Mama's actions were very rough, she was trying to be very open and transparent about a lot of things and trying to handle things very quick, you know, to get things out of the way. While I don't agree with that approach, I do agree with the honesty part. I do agree with the openness part. And that was something that was sorely lacking afterwards. And I'm not sure if it was influence of you know, what had happened with the initial Tim Pool issue, but it probably was a part of it. Anyways, I kind of, going back to my scenario here, I feel a little bit like her. Everybody's prejudging me without asking. The additional part of this is that a lot of people are prejudging me even when I direct them to the proof. When I direct them to proof that I am not a liar, that I was there on neutral ground, that I wasn't there to dog anybody, like everybody. Look, it's like starting a rumor. And I'm going to blame it on, initially to start, I would blame it on the Kilroy team. But I'm gonna blame it on Matt as well.
And all of a sudden some story comes up and they tell you something that is not, you know, accurate. You're like, huh, I know the truth about this. I learned about this from some guy named Mundane Matt.
Because Matt laid out a video that everybody supposedly saw, and everybody got the idea that I was a bad person, that I was a liar, that I was there to, as he put it, to have a negative, to provide a negative view of Kilroy to the people that I hang out with, which again are people that oppose Kilroy, that are against Kilroy, that are anti-Kilroy. Yes, I have friends like that, so the fuck what? Why would you guys want, and I have friends on the other side as well who are pro-Kilroy.
I ain't saying she a go.
Who the fuck cares? Why would you want to just be in an echo chamber? Why? Why?
I ain't saying she a go.
And why can't I be friends with people? And again, look, here's the thing. Thomas was critical of me yesterday in his video. Do I give a shit? No, he's right. He's right. He is very right to say, you know, Roger's views can be somewhat, you know, frustrating.
Roger has been really so, I guess, neutral in some ways that it's mildly annoying. I mean, it's fine. It's fine, but...
And I'm like, fair? That's totally fair. He's being honest. That's constructive criticism. And you know what? I fucking take it. Who the fuck cares if you're going to judge Kilroy? If you're going to judge Kilroy, judge it. If you love people, or if you want a business to succeed, are you going to lie about things? Are you going to try to, you know, paint a fake picture about it? No. You're going to be very public and very frank and specific about the issues at hand. If you want somebody if you want a business to succeed, you're going to do all those things. You're not going to sugarcoat it. Oh, you know, our numbers were shitty last year for sales, but we'll be hopeful for next year because it was such a great event. It doesn't work that way, people. Here's the thing: if you guys are gonna continue this banter about, oh my god, it was so awesome, and you know, we did all of our 360 views, and we're in a hot tub, and we're doing all this and that in a hotel, and we love everybody. Loving doesn't equate to profits. Loving doesn't equate to getting future people on board with your agenda. Sure, it might have looked nice, but you know what? Other people are going to see the truth about all this. You're not going to get a lot of donors in that with that kind of a mindset. You're going to get more donors if you're very upfront, truthful about the mistakes that you made and where you want, and publicly say what you want to learn from it and what you will do the next time around. I tell you what, if you are public about this stuff, I will be one of your best donors as well, just like I was this past year. That's another thing I want to correct as well before I get further on to these notes. Mundane Matt. And I did come out and say I do correct the issue on my when I was, okay, I'm gonna start with Matt. Matt was talking to Medicare, and he said, oh, I don't know about Roger being a VIP. And I'm like, okay, well, I am a VIP. And then I looked at my notes as far as, like, you know, my ticket that I purchased and everything, and it didn't say anywhere on there that I was a VIP. And so with that, I'm like, okay, well, I corrected myself online. I'm like, okay, well, guys, I want to correct this. I'm not a VIP. I stated I was a VIP. I seriously thought I was a VIP. It said somewhere on my documents. Well, guess what? You guys all know me as somebody who likes to document everything. I do. I love doing that. Well, guess what? I also document, and I always say, well, guess what? Sorry. I documented and screen captured my initial ticket purchase, and it does show at a $150 level, I was a level 2 VIP, or it doesn't say level 2, but it does say VIP. So that'll probably be on this screen right now. So I didn't lie. So I do take it back, but at least I owned it when I didn't know. I said, Matt is right about the fact that I'm not a VIP, but I am. I'm retracting Matt saying that I wasn't. So, if you guys can't stand, I mean, okay, here's the thing. You guys have, here's the difference between people who are supporters of Kilroy and myself. You guys are subjective, meaning you guys are letting your feelings get in the way of what this Kilroy event is. You're not looking at facts. I'm an objective person. I like to look at specifics as to what a failure or a success is. Apparently you guys don't. And in business, how do you want all the people that you do business with on a regular basis, like Wells Fargo, for instance, your bank, do you want them to be subjective? Do you want them to be subjective when they're making their decisions financially on your financial accounts? I fucking doubt it. Nope. You want them to be objective. You want them to have critical data to make sure that your accounts, that nothing happens to them, to make sure that the product that you're paying for, if you are paying for it, and the services that you're paying for are working, and they're going to continue to work. So when you're being subjective to Kilroy, you're doing Kilroy a huge disservice. You are setting them up for failure because you want to be nice. No business is successful when you're just fucking nice to it. No business is successful when you're just nice. So quit being subjective, start being objective. Then you could probably end up seeing people give Kilroy a chance in future years if that's what they want to do. And from what I understand, they do around 2020, not 2019, as even a lot of speakers have been saying, oh yeah, there's going to be a Kilroy next year. To my understanding, it's 2020. They want to take a year off. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I've heard from the organizers. When you can't stand constructive criticism, you know you're dealing with people on an echo chamber, in an echo chamber. You guys are starting to act like the leftist SJWs. The majority of all these Kilroy people who hate the fact that I at least have a criticism of it and some praise. What is your problem? Again, that's a sign of disingenuousness from you guys. It's basically saying that oh, you know what? Regardless of all the other stuff that happened, it was a success because, yay, you know, the event happened. No. Again, as I've mentioned multiple times before, that's a side excuse for a success. Yes, it happened. I'm glad it did. You saved face, and that's about the extent of it. As far as financials are concerned, to my understanding, it's not a financial success. You guys are going to really have to do a lot of digging up, making sure you're being very open and honest as an organization for it to succeed when they want to do it again, either in 2019, which I'm almost certain that's what they said that they didn't want to do, to 2020 and beyond. So accept the criticism. And don't put people down like me and you can, I can take all the hits in the world, it's totally fine. But don't put people down like me when we're actually telling the truth. You guys have all prejudged me without even approaching me. And I've already discussed this a little earlier on as I was driving, but you guys have. And I'm calling you out. I've called you guys out multiple times on your shit. I've made a couple of tweets, one with Thomas Ellington, just kind of attached my handle to this Twitter thread with Wizard of Cause. Wizard of Cause, you're a cool guy. I loved your presentation. I loved the way that you answered some of my questions when I presented them. I think you're great, and I think your view on Kilroy is very good. Again, though, you're hating on the critics. Why? If there are unanswered questions regarding the financials, regarding how things were organized, I think it's fair for Thomas to continue on with that banter. I think it's fair, completely fair. I would like to know more information on that. You know, and in his defense, Kilroy has not been very open about that, and even to me, they don't want to talk about it right now. Even though I say, you know, a lot of it could save your face, you know, save face if these things were addressed, and they just don't want to address them. To each their own. At this point, this is where it stands. I see no reason for you to Wizard of Cause, I don't have anything against you, but I don't see any reason why you have to say that people that are critical of it, whether it's harsh or positive, whether they were there or not, as an observer, is it a good defense to just say, oh, here, they're just the naysayers? It's a better defense to have the evidence in your side and present it. That's not happening. Kilroy's not presenting it. Thomas is right in this scenario. You're not. The other thing is, along that thread, I also posted my video, my comeback video, where in response to Mundane Matt accusing me of lying, accusing me of not being a VIP, accusing me of a lot of things, accusing me of being a negative person, accusing me of basically saying that I was there as a non-supporter. I posted my response video on there, and what did I get from you? You were continuing the conversation with Thomas, but when it came to actually supplying evidence, you stopped short of addressing it. You didn't address it. You probably didn't even look at the video. That video contains actual evidence, contradicting everything Matt said about me. I don't know how many more times I can say this without you actually just seeing the evidence. I recorded the whole scenario. After I couldn't find the building was empty, I started recording. I'm like, okay, well, people have to see that I am at the conference room building itself. All 3 floors I've checked out. And guess what? I started recording also when I was in the bar. I asked around and did everything. But you refuse, or I assume you refused to watch it because you didn't respond to it. But it basically proves my point that mundane Matt's assumptions about me, that I didn't talk to anyone, I did. That I was sitting there alone, yes, I did. But I kept having people come up to me, and I went up to people and asked them if they were event organizers to see if they can register me. All that is in that video, recorded. They're speaking in my phone, telling me this. But yet, you're refusing to look at the truth. You're instead wanting to side with mundane Matt. Okay. Here's my thing. I'm critical of Thomas. Thomas is critical of me. You know, we just because we're friends doesn't mean that we can't have conflicting ideas. You should be able to accept the fact that mundane Matt is lying here with the evidence, but you're not. You're choosing to accept the fact that he lied about me. And everybody else who supposedly were the witnesses, this former security guard, Matt, supposedly understands everything, and you guys accept it as that. I don't understand you. This is the disingenuous part that everybody from Kilroy who is supporting it is showing their true colors on. It's an echo chamber. I mean, you don't want anybody to criticize it. There's still a lot of unanswered questions where it does need criticism. So I have no words for that. You guys are just not open to any criticism of it, and you will shoot down anybody like me or Thomas who still have very valid criticisms about it. And like I said, I know how Based Mama and Sestra must feel now, because I'm going through the exact same thing where everybody that supports Kilroy is looking at me as the bad guy. Half of them don't even know that I was there neutrally, and the other half just don't want to hear my side of the story. You guys, again, you're doing yourselves a disservice by refusing to look at the evidence. Do you do that in everyday things? Do you do that when you look at politics? Do you only look at one side? I don't think so. If you want to complete this story, if you want to be humble and know that you were all wrong in believing the deceitfulness of what mundane Matt has said about me, you'll do due diligence and actually, you know, stop looking at me as the bad guy. And again, I'm bringing this up because I saw 3 different instances this weekend where it was shown that I was still the bad guy. So start looking at that. Stop being disingenuous. And, you know, even Based Mama and Sestra, they are the ones that are open to both the brutal criticism and the honest criticism, positive and negative criticism. I was told this verbally by Sestra, with Based Mama being there agreeing, that they want to hear it all. You know, and I applaud them for that. I applaud them for that's a sign of true people who, even though they made a lot of mistakes, and who knows if there was deceit or not, I can't go that direction because I've been told a lot of stories. Until I can see actual proof otherwise, I'm going to assume that they tried their hardest on a bad scenario. That's where I'm at this point. And with that, they're actually willing to accept the positive and negative. Why can't you? Anyways, that's all I got to say. What are you guys' thoughts on Kilroy? Let me know in the comments below. Like, hate, share, subscribe. Be critical about me, but if you are, watch the evidence videos first. All right, and then give me your conclusion afterwards. Peace out.
¿Dónde está la lista?